This is Eastern white pine, and this is the original wood that Leo Fender had used to build those first couple Broadcaster, which then turned into Telecaster guitars. Really interesting wood. Today it's quite expensive. Getting wood in this thickness, 8/4, it's actually hard to come by. You know, they do have it in inch thickness for some furniture, but buying this in 8/4 makes this wood actually pretty expensive. Interesting figure, easy to work with, very soft. You know, all of us are familiar with this from using construction grade. The difference between this wood and construction grade wood is how long they dry it. Construction grade timber usually dries to about 20% humidity, where, you know, wood for furniture building or guitar building is usually dried to about 6% humidity, and the drying is essentially just time, and that time costs money. And so this wood is actually pretty expensive for furniture grade. You could probably buy some 2x4s or 2x6s or 2x12s, whatever, at a home furnishing store like Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards or whatever, and let that wood sit and dry in a climate controlled environment. You could probably get it dry, you know, closer to like 8-10% humidity, and then you can use it for guitar body. You know, as the wood dries, it's going to move a little bit, but once you get it dry, you could probably then make a guitar body out of it. In terms of workability, the one interesting thing I've learned about Eastern white pine is it tears out. I've got my Makita with my 5/8 inch bit. Really workable, but you'll see it tears out, you know, as it's going in. Really easily worked wood, cutting, sawing, sanding, but routing, it does tend to tear even when you're drilling in. Eastern white pine does have that tendency to tear out. In terms of tap tone, interesting tap tone. It's actually a pretty good piece of wood. It's got a nice tap tone. You know, for being soft, it's not as bonky as, let's say, the red cedar that I had reviewed. Different tone and feel versus an alder or an ash. You know, those woods are much harder than this. This, I'd say, would be very similar to like a swamp ash type of tone. So very warm sounding piece of wood. Definitely not used for acoustics, although probably one of my favorite things I've ever seen is Robert Bendato built a arch top out of construction grade pine, and I'm sure that guitar is outstanding. If you're looking for a light resonant body, this is definitely worth the cost. If you're looking for something different than swamp ash, you know, swamp ash has the open grain. This actually doesn't, so there's not as much work to fill the grain. You know, you can just paint it and leave it. Overall, Eastern white pine is a pretty good wood to work with. A tad expensive, but it is definitely one of my woods of choice if I've got a customer who's looking for something a little bit different, you know, has a weight concern, but is looking for kind of a interesting body. There's Eastern white pine.